beautiful people. A great welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome and thanks for being here and hitting that like, subscribe, and share buttons. I really appreciate you. On this channel, I share restoration gems, which can help you improve the quality of your life, personally and professionally, change your mindset, build your confidence, and enhance your spirituality so you become the best version of yourself. Live purposeful and authentic. Today I am so excited because I have really good restoration gems to share with you. So let's get right into this video. This is the season for your restoration. Hallelujah. Greetings. This video is about the victimhood mentality and how to break free of it. A victim mentality is where you often feel like a victim, even when the evidence says otherwise. Signs include frequently blaming others and having trouble accepting personal responsibility. Victim mentality is an acquired personality trait in which a person tends to recognize or consider themselves a victim of the negative actions of others. Playing the victim could also be a manipulation tactic. Don't imprison yourself in the role of the victim. Recognize yourself. We have all at some times in our life wrestle with the fear of people or the fear of failure. Even great heroes, great men and women had admitted that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the overcoming of fear. These great men and women had to overcome some of the same fears and doubts that may be plaguing you right now. Also me and all of us. Fear of people and fear of failure are two of the greatest enemies of success. Likewise, it is natural to make excuses once in a while. Everyone does. But there are some people who become real pros at bouncing blame for their failures onto everyone else, thus excusing themselves from taking accountability for their own choices or actions. If some of the phases we will mention later are your automatic response or answers to every situation you encounter, it may be that you are guilty of imprisoning yourself in the role of the victim. Even if you constantly only say these things to yourself, you may be playing the blame game, also known as the victimhood game. Sooner or later, people who are caught up in excuses and blame develop a victim mentality. I personally know a few people who are terminal victims, professional victims, always having excuses ready at hand and always ready and equipped to play the blame game. I am not talking about people who occasionally make up some lie about why they were late for an occasion or why they were unable to do something that may be beneficial for their life. I am talking about those people who freely and confidently blame everyone and everything around them as their excuse for failure. These people are not making up a lie, at least not in their mindset. They actually believe that every time something goes wrong in their life, it is someone else's fault and not necessarily their own. Or if it is some unseen force that is causing things to happen negatively for them. The fact is, they are always the victim. These kind of people are usually unhappy because in their minds, deep down inside of themselves, they are convinced that they are powerless to change things in their lives for the better. The psychological profile of victimization includes a variety of feelings and emotions. Some behavioral signs are often placing blame on external factors or other people when things go wrong, having trouble taking personal responsibility or seeing how you may have contributed to a situation, being overly critical of yourself or others, self sabotage, associating only with people who think like you. So the questions are, do you have a victim mentality? Do you ever feel as if others are victimizing you or somehow standing in your way? Could you be a professional victim? Let's do this simple test. How often have you found yourself saying these phrases? It's not my fault. I'm just unlucky, I guess. I never seem to win. If only I'd had. What do they expect? I could if it wasn't for. John or Mary makes me so mad. I just can't help it because you don't understand what they did to me. Let's now take a look at some mental cognitive signs. Seeing the world as unfair or unsafe. Cognitive distortions like catastrophizing, harmful thinking patterns or pessimism, ruminating over past wrongs and hurts. So we keep going over and over past wrongs that was done to us and past hurts. Thoughts of self-harm or suicide. The reality that is birthed is every time we make the old victim excuses, we give away our power to other people in our lives. Professional victims just like being a victim. But why would anyone like being a victim? Why would anyone want to feel like they're powerless? Whenever you start your statement with I can't, that means something else is more powerful than I can control. Here we find a statement in Philippians chapter 4 verse 13, which reads, I can do all things through Christ who give me my strength. This statement should take relevance in our life. It means that I have the strength for everything through God who empowers me. It means that I can take action. I can make a decision. I can source information that will help me to improve on the way I think about things. I can also take responsibility for my actions and responsibility for the choices that I make. Here are some relationship signs that are as a result of having a victim mentality. Difficulty with intimacy and trust. Emotional unavailability. Limited empathy for others. That means that they cannot empathize with others when they may be going through adverse situations. Mistrust for authority figures. Keeping scores in relationships. That means they keep a record of everything that their partner does wrong or even everything that their partner does right. So they always could bring it up back whenever they have an argument or whenever there is some confrontation. They will remind them of all the negative things that they had done prior. Trouble accepting constructive criticism. And we know there are a lot of people like that. Don't matter how you try to advise them or give them some kind of constructive criticism, they do not accept it because they always think that they are right. And in thinking that they are right is saying to themselves that they are a victim of whatever you may be trying to project to them. So being a professional victim is like getting a free pass from taking personal responsibility. If everything that happens to you is someone else's fault, then nothing is your personal fault. Try challenging a person with the victim mentality with a reality check, and he or she would probably react with anger or get very defensive. He or she will present logical and rational sounding evidence why others are to blame for his or her lot in life. Victims are most times not led to examine their own shortcomings. They can totally ignore all the signs that says it's time to change their approach to life and work. Even though they're unhappy, you will be surprised to know that this mindset is actually more comfortable to them than the alternative, which is to take responsibility for their own actions. Let's now look at some emotional signs. Anxiety, depression, feeling unseen, meaning that you don't think nobody appreciate you or recognize you when you even step into a room. Guilt or shame. Yes, you're always feeling guilty about something or shame even about your own self. So that impacts your self-love. Low self-esteem. And that is relatable to not having self-confidence also. Resentment of others. So we see why some people just don't know someone but they resent them for some reason or the other. Could it be a result of them having a victim mentality? Social isolation. So if at this time that we're here in this video, at this particular moment and time, you have recognized yourself as a victim, you are saying other people or other events derailed my plans and I'm incapable of overcoming because the failures in my life are not my fault. If it's not your fault, then you are not responsible for your own life. Responsibility is the key to breaking out of the prison of victimhood. The ultimate responsibility is taking charge of our own life. Other people and other circumstances cannot and should not keep us from our goals unless we let them. And whenever we try to pass the blame onto some person or circumstance in our life, we give up our power. Responsibility is where our true power begins. Social life is full of ambiguity. Dates don't always respond to your text messages. Friends and co-workers, members in your church may not always smile back at you when you smile at them. And strangers may look you dead in the face and sometimes have upset looks on their faces. The question is, how do you interpret these situations? Do you take everything personally, or do you consider that it's more likely that your friend, co-worker, or church member is just having a bad day and it's not about you? Or your new date is still interested but wants to play it cool, and that the stranger on the street was angry about something and did not even notice that you were there? My friends, today is the day of your salvation. Today is the day of your restoration. Today is the day for you to break out of the prison of victimhood and embrace your true, authentic self. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 say, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline." So here are a few strategies and tips for coping with a victim mentality. Now, if, my friend, you are ready today to change how you feel about yourself, there are many strategies that can support you. And here I'm giving 4 strategies, and you could do your own research to find other strategies where maybe that may be best suited to you. Number 1, consider professional help. Get professional support. Try to practice self-compassion. Yes, you need to have compassion on your own self. Number 3, consider shifting your self-identification. Yes, you gotta say, I am strong. I am free. I am capable. I am confident, because I am statements are self-identification statements. So you say, I am fearless. I am resilient. Those are the shiftings from the poor me consciousness to the I am strong consciousness. Number 4 is try to own your story. Yes, you gotta come to the acceptance and to the realization that I am a victim, number 1. then you gotta say, I own this because this is who I am. Don't try to be in denial. This is my status right now. This is my story. And this story that I have now, I want to change it. And I could change this story. I could rewrite this story of my life. Then when you come to that realization and you feel that confidence within yourself that you were ready to rewrite your story, then you can take all the necessary steps that are available, that is within your reach, in order to rewrite your life story. Hallelujah. Aren't you excited about rewriting your life story? I am excited for you. So just begin doing that. Hallelujah. If you are someone watching this video who does not have a victim mentality, but you have to cope with someone who has a victim mentality, I'm throwing in this bonus just for you. It can be frustrating if you know someone who displays signs of a victim mentality, especially if you love them and want to see them stand in their power. In this case, you may find it helpful to encourage them to seek professional support. Remind them how strong and capable they are. Set and maintain healthy boundaries, meaning that you will say to them, this is what I will tolerate and this is what I will not tolerate coming from you. Limit interactions that feels draining. Yes, there may be times that you have to step away sometimes, because if you continue to be in close proximity with that person for too long, it will drain your energy. And if you find that it is draining you, after a time, you will get fed up with the whole situation and not even want to help this person. So for your own good, at times you need to step away from them. Limit your interactions with them. Also, you need to resist the temptation to rescue others or rescue them. Let them learn. Let them learn from trials and errors. Just give them some advice. Let them feel the downs and the lows, and let them feel the highs when they pick up themselves. So you have to resist that temptation of micromanaging them or being overly protective about them. You can't rescue them. They have to learn how to rescue their own self. Also, you have to learn about how to prevent codependency. Now, codependency is an excessive emotional dependence on another person. It is a circular relationship in which one person needs the other person, who in turn needs to be needed. So you see, it's a whole circular situation here. And here is an example. Finding yourself making lots of sacrifices for your partner's happiness, but not getting much in return. And that is what we call a codependent relationship. So you have to prevent having that person be codependent on you. Because if they're codependent on you, they will always remain a victim. They will not be able to break free from the prison of victimhood. I personally believe one important step along the path is to shed the perpetual victimhood mindset for something more productive, more constructive, hopeful, and acceptable to building positive relationships with others. We can do it with some effort. We can do it with some courage. We can do it with faith. We can do it by believing in ourselves. We can effect restoration in our world, in our life, and in our affairs. So break free today from the prison of victimhood. For it's not cool being a victim. Thank you for visiting my restoration channel. I trust that you have received some value from my discussion. Please leave your comments, hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. This will be helpful so that I can continue to bring you more restoration gems. This is Infinite Restorer, sending you more peace, more love, more light. Until I see you again, stay well.